Hi, everybody. And today I really wanted to introduce you to my guest, Wasima. Thank you so much for joining me for this discussion. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so happy to be here and I'm looking forward to, explore different topics together today.
Yes, we actually met recently. We actually live in Portugal together, but and we have just started to talk about different topics related to spirituality and the world. And so I thought this would be a fantastic, you would be a fantastic guest to be on the channel to discuss some of the topics related to spirituality, esoteric culture, given that you have such a fascinating background. So maybe obviously the first question would be to maybe give us a little bit of an intro into your background. How did you come to where you are now?
Yeah, this is fascinating to see it's my birthday today and
Happy
seeing
birthday.
yeah, thank you. And seeing like where I'm coming from and where I am at the moment and where I'm going. It's um So I was born in North Africa, in Algeria, and I'm Canadian. And now I'm living in Portugal, and I don't know where I will be next year. Who knows? But the thing is that I consider myself to be a crossroad, not in the crossroad, but to be a crossroad. My goal is to facilitate and bridge between cultures, between concepts, the past and the future, and that's why I'm interested in many topics that, sometimes people tell me, you published a book about photography and you published a book about this and you created oracle decks and you are talking about Arabic letters and I don't know what. And I'm like, yeah, I am the crossroad. So I hope today that I will bridge and I will bring you something of value to you and to your listeners.
Thank you, thank you. So you mentioned, I think, two things. There's you when you were born in North Africa, in Algeria, and then a little bit of your life in Canada. And we do have Canadian uh, viewers, so maybe if you could contrast a little bit, your origins and the culture, and then maybe what lessons or experiences you've had in Canada.
Yeah. So I think the chance that I had is to leave Algeria because the I was there during a very difficult period, terrorism period, and it wasn't easy to see people being killed every day and parents receiving letters of threat and things like that. And me myself, I was under some situations that I'm really happy I'm safe. But the thing is that um, being and living there and living in Canada and other countries, because I didn't mention that I was in the US as well and so on. But
Okay,
the thing
yeah.
is that you see the different lives that people have, the different realities that we can live in without really taking into consideration that there is something else. So,
Mhm.
when we are a kid, we believe that this world is the whole world because we didn't used to watch the TV all the time, it's kind of like this is like an extraterrestrial existence. But the more we travel, the more our mind opens, and the more we say to ourselves, okay, what if I do this? What if this? What if this? So it's kind of like what you thought possible starts to widen.
Mhm.
Um, and also, you start um, grasping the different dimensions of human life. There is good and there is bad, right? Because we live in duality. But in between, there are all these grays and different colors that you experience. We experience through emotionals, things, traumas, things like that. So it's very, very interesting for me to experience this. I traveled, I went to Japan, I went to different countries in my life. And this also helped me to mm, be more open within to me, to accept who I am, to accept people, and also to regain compassion and love as I walk. So yeah, so this is like the crossroads. It's like to be able to hold all the differences and like increase yourself from within and say, okay, life is not just one way of being. There are many ways of being. And in the same way as I did that geographically and culturally and with history, I felt that even my own identity, spiritual identity, started to widen. So my name is Isra Wasima, let's say, but I'm not just that. And being able to connect with First Nations, with indigenous people, to learn from them shamanism, to learn the different practices of meditation or the different practice of healing and so on, going from Reiki in Japan to um, many, talking about Shinto, everything. And this, I am not just me. I can be also many other beings in a way, many other colors, energies that go beyond the geography of the planet Earth, that could be cosmic.
Mhm.
And there I connected with the great cosmic mother. And then going even further, it's like, oh, universes, oh, different dimensions, oh. And so yeah, I feel that being on the crossroad is like this openness, spiritual, horizontal, vertical, and in all ways, like the sun shining in all directions.
That's an interesting concept. And how do you how would you describe your spiritual practice in terms of what you do? Are you more of a card reader or healer? I feel also different modalities, but maybe just learning a little bit of kind of what you do or what kind of services you do and things you like to do also yourself in terms of connecting spirituality and culture.
So when I go back to being in the crossroad, which means that we are the bridge. We are the bridge between different dimensions and different beings. So it's kind of we can bridge between that or the ancestors and the living ones. We can bridge between the past and the future if those exist. We can bridge between the body and the disconnected soul or essence. We can bridge between, let's say, parents and
Mhm.
kids, between the partners, between the female and masculine. It's kind of like being in the crossroad is really amazing because you don't need to define exactly what you do, because
Mhm.
what you really do in essence is just uniting, is bridging, is
Mhm.
bringing people together. This is like together, the fragments of the body together, the mind that's the opposites in the oneness. And that's really, I feel like, if there is a religion to say it, uh, but my belief is about the oneness. And I talk about it in my books, the principle of this atomic uh, point. I don't know if it's point, but element where everything is united. So I believe this is who, what, where we are, and we are experiencing different facets of the oneness inside of it.
Mhm. Okay.
So and yeah, so that this is exactly what I do. And then with the common language, being the crossroad is like healing, through healing. I don't like saying this is what I do, but I do being the crossroad through healing, through cards or through initiations, because I initiate priestesses as well to become the bridge or the crossroad. Through traveling, because I bring people as well to sacred places. We just came back from Egypt, and I'm preparing another trip to Greece and so on, to Turkey and so on. So it's like, yeah, it's just like bridging. This is what I do.
Connecting, bridging, and bringing people together
Yes, yes.
as well.
I This is fascinating because just this morning, as I was meditating about that, I understood that like the cross of Bridget, the Bridget, the goddess, that I met through the lands here in Portugal, because she is the goddess here in the goddess of the land. This is a very fascinating book I have to translate about her. called Iria Brigida here, and but I met her also in North Africa and so on. But this cross, Bridget's cross, very known. I'm like, maybe this is really who she is. She is the crossroad. She
Ah.
is the bridge. Bridget the bridge. So.
And you've done obviously some interesting projects, including cards and books as well. Are there some of the projects that maybe you would like to share so we can understand a little bit, through an example of a project, some of the
Mm.
things you've done? Yeah.
Yeah, they are so different facets of, like um, someone like 2 days ago or so told me, "Oh, you published a book about photography." I'm like, "Yeah," and then he looks to other books. It's like, "Oh, you published other books about spirituality." I'm like, "Yeah," and it's like, a bridge. I believe that the words. This is one of the projects I really cherish is the Oriental mysteries about the letters, the Arabic letters, because I believe that the letters are like codes, all together put into words and then into sentences and so on. So if we take all our identities the same way, we are forming like a fabric of reality. But if we start like seeing deeper, we become sentences and then we become words and then we become letters. And then the letters express an intention. Every letter expresses an intention, like numbers, like
Mhm.
colors. So when I dived into the Arabic letters to feel their energy and their teachings, I gained so much peace in a way that everything is done according to an order or a plan. I would say people talk about fate, destiny. I don't know about that, but I believe that what is happening in the world is something that is beyond my understanding,
Mhm.
uh, full understanding, beyond. That's why we have the separation or the duality in this world because the oneness we cannot experience it all at the same time according to our mind capacity and body capacity. The time as a concept comes to help us understand this and fragment it. So in this world we have the time and space that are mostly limited. We have specific time for this, we have a specific space. Even the body is a very limited space sometimes. So the words, in a way, have this technology to portray a big wisdom in very limited words and very limited letters, very limited symbols. It's amazing. This is a technology that is beyond what I can comprehend and understand. So it confirms for me that there is a higher intelligence in this world that is monitoring, that is, or that gave us tools to kind of be able to create, because this is what it is, creating words. I'm creating words. It's the power of creation. The magician, in the tarot cards, he,
Mhm.
he holds the four elements, but there is something more into it. It's not just about the four elements, it's the capacity to put these four elements together, to make something from them. That's why he's one of the first cards in the tarot.
And also, if I may add, the magician in the tarot has the infinity symbol in his hat.
Yes,
And so that's the connection to the universe. Yeah.
yes. And the infinite impossible, like the infinite I am possibility, not impossible possibilities. So if you see the letters, let's say you can pick up four letters. I don't know if you can do this game, like, and see how many words you can have from these letters, like talking about the number four. But yeah, so this is why I really love the Arabic letters to connect me with that intelligence, to hieroglyphs as also the same thing, talking about Egypt.
Yeah, yes, number
How
and
hieroglyphs.
letter. So in the cards, if you don't mind sharing a few photo, your cards on
Cards, yes, sure. Let's
yes,
see which letters will come
yes.
today.
But those letters, they're so you use the Arabic letters as each Arabic letter on a card, and each letter has a meaning. Is that how the system work?
Yes, yes. So what I'm doing at this moment is to analyze people's names using the Arabic letters because they show me what they came here to do, what are their limitations, the blockages, and what are the strengths, and what are the next steps. It's amazing. It's like I can decipher this in about like 10 to 15 minutes, and the person has like keys on her life of
Right.
what to do. So sometimes we take longer because there's so much depth. It's like when you get the
I know.
first key you want to, uh, and then for those who take more time, we go into the family name and so on. And I think you did that with me, right?
We did that, and actually can testify,
Yeah.
how powerful it was. And so the way that, you work is you look at my name, my first name, but you can also, with time, look at the family name and translate the letters of the first name in Arabic letters. And those Arabic letters contain a special meaning, the way that they're presented together, their sequence, how I
Yeah.
understood when you did mine. And it gives you, like you said, I think you said it very well, the keys, the understanding of your chart, basically, when you were born. It's almost like the way it felt to me was like looking at an astrological chart without the astrology in a way.
Ah, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't think
Some
of it.
people talk about the Akashic records. All of that kind of feels like the connection, but using the first name that you parents gave you and then looking at your last name as kind of a secondary and understanding the meaning of the letter translated into Arabic teachings. That's
Yeah,
how it
exactly.
felt. Yeah.
And I know that I cannot like access all people who want to do that, and maybe there are some that want to connect with one letter of their names and so on. That's why I created the book. Also, it's available on Amazon for them to dive deeper and continue the meditation. Also, kind of like connect to this intelligence that I'm talking about that vibrates from this book. So let's see which letters come today. And
Yes,
also I have the numbers, as well in this in these cards. And so very interesting. I'm having okay. Okay, very interesting. So let's just start with the first one, which is Ra. So this is Ra, and you see that we depicted it with the sun.
it's
And
beautiful.
inside of it, I wrote Rihla ila Shams, which means the traveling or the journey to the sun.
Oh,
And we have been talking about the sun today. It's very interesting, talking about the oneness and all the rays going and all the directions. So the Ra for today feels that we need to connect to the courage as a vibration, not as a value, as something. I know that um, you're offering this a lot to Canadians and Americans, and I sense a lot of courage in people there. There is this courage of the fear is educational. The fear that comes with education, we need to disconnect from it. We need to kind of like remove the programmation of fear as an
mm,
emotion, as a system, because it is preventing us from shine in our light. It's preventing us from experiencing the courage to move forward, the courage to manifest what we are. So the to be able to travel to the sun, it's not like the sun that we see, but maybe the sun within us, you know?
mm.
So the sun within us just disconnected, very interesting, as if like I went traveling and came back.
Yes.
But it's funny. But yeah, so this message I'm feeling very strongly. Then the second card
Wasima,
that
is it what would be the equivalent of this letter in the alphabet that we use?
I usually it's like ra. It's r.
The R
Yeah,
sound.
but it's not r. In
Ah,
French there is r.
yes.
R is another letter in Arabic. This r is r.
Ra.
And for people, sometimes it's at the beginning of their names, like I don't know which
Robert.
names. You just Robert.
Robert.
Or,
Okay.
but it's different if it's from the US or from, let's say,
Ah,
Quebec, from Quebec. If
yes.
a person comes to me, I will ask him, "Where are you born, and what is the first pronunciation for your name or letter?"
It's more
So
the
this,
pronunciation than the letter per se. Yes.
yeah, it's
The
the
sound. Yes.
yes, the place of birth, the culture where the person is born. I had a lady, for example, her name was anyway. You know, I think I can say that name because I met many people. But Catherine,
Mm-hmm.
Catherine and Catherine. You
Mm-hmm.
see the difference.
Yeah.
Catherine in French. So that we have the T and R, which are different in the middle of the name. And that changes completely the
Ah.
structure for the person, where she's going, what she needs to do, and so on. So very, very important where you are born. And there are some places French in the US. You
Yes,
know,
of course. Of
so
course.
there are some that speak French and very related
In
to
Louisiana, in the Northeast, it's absolutely, absolutely.
exactly. So yeah, so this is what is coming for today, and it might be different from person to another. That's
Of course.
why we need to tune in. The second letter, which is very interesting, is not letter but number, because the numbers are different in Arabic as well.
Mhm.
This is the six,
I
and
see.
the six. The you see, this is a word. This is a word, and it means tawar, which means evolution, progression, and moving forward. So this letter is coming to show us that we need to move forward. So there's something here about movement. Stop being stuck in the same place. You have to move forward, but according to the divine. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not the fear, it's not insecurity, it's not the little ambition or the ambition of the person. It's the ambition of the soul, of the essence. You know, so the question I would ask with these two cards is like, what is the divine planning for me? What is my soul, my essence, desire, ambition in this life? Mission, you know, like some people believe a lot in the mission. What is
The
the mission
life
for me?
path or the soul path.
Exactly.
Yes.
And it feels that this is the moment because the third letter that came is ta,
This is actually beautiful. I love the card, the black and the gold
the
has
gold.
yes, it's
Thank you.
beautiful.
Yeah, so this is the ta. Ta, you see, I put here speaking,
It,
putting education, putting things out loud. What does it mean? What does it mean? It means there is something about being stuck, get the courage, move forward towards your soul desire, but it's shareable. It's shareable. It's something about I learn how to do it, but I also share it with others. Could be kids, could be maybe groups. Maybe there is a mission in groups, community, something about, you know, like showing the path so that communities or ideas could be constructed towards the future. I feel there is also with the number six, innovation. What are the innovative ideas you could have? Um, I know, you know, like many people are having financial struggles at the moment. Difficulties to join, you know, the physical with the physical financial with the spiritual, because you know things are a bit hectic at the
of
moment.
course.
And how can we still keep the connection with the spiritual and find genius, uh you know, very evolutive ideas to be able to combine these two? Could be related to economy, um, I don't know, something related to how to save more money, how to, I don't know, you know, how to be independent, more, I don't know, many things. And we could continue with the letters to tell us more.
I'm taking this message the way that I interpret it because a lot of us, obviously, with what's going on with the political climate in the US, the Trump administration, and I feel that the way that I interpret, your cards coming from this is the feeling stuck and feeling scared about, what is happening because it's very scary. Having the courage to, take steps and resist and organize a resistance. But kind of to your third card, bringing people with us, as a
Yeah.
community
I
to
wouldn't say, I wouldn't
learn.
say, yeah, this is very interesting. I'm sorry to,
No, no,
I wouldn't put the word resistance in this one. It's more kind of go back to your essence instead of being out there, instead of giving your energy out there, is go back more to where is your essence and what does she want to do? It's like it's like I would say, this is the time, announcement. This is the time your soul takes the lead. But it's not necessarily about resistance.
mm,
Maybe some will have that. Maybe.
not for everyone necessarily.
No.
I agree.
And
So you're
and
saying,
mm,
if I understand this right, is that this situation is bringing a calling, and
mhm.
that calling could take the form of resistance, could take the form of education, could take the form of innovation, but it's a calling to look deeper into our soul and to say, in this critical moment, what do I want to do? How do I how do I deal with this situation myself, for me and my family, but also maybe for the world?
Yes, exactly. And there is a lot because of the evolution that it's really asking us to move the energy. Stop being in the same way of
Mm,
being and doing and thinking, starts to reach a deeper understanding, a higher level of being. So this will include maybe with the raw, there's a lot of like cleansing, but cleansing in the sense of higher the vibration with colors, with sound, um,
mm,
you know, Ra, we talk Ra, talking about Egypt, the again, the sun. It's very interesting. The evolution, the revolution within.
mhm.
So there's something we work on at the temple called, the archetypes,
Yep.
coming from Jung and going out from Jung because he brought some things, but we want to be free as well from there, saying there are not only 12 archetypes, there are so many. And when there is one outside playing a role, I have first to come back within me and saying, what am I afraid of? And how am I this person? How am I within me this person? How am I um, what is this person, what is its opposite? And I can find those between these two within me. This is the crossroad again,
Mhm.
bridging opposites.
Yes.
So by healing these opposites within me doesn't mean that I don't need to talk and say what I think, but who is thinking? Who are you? Who are the different people that are having different roles within you?
The different facets of you,
Exactly. Exactly.
which
And
I
who are you
remember,
giving energy? Who
yeah,
are you giving
when you
energy to?
kindly did the reading for me with my name, is the idea of looking at the different sides of myself, of a person, to understand how the different facets connect. And that was simply just looking at the Arabic translation of the name
Mhm.
with the different sounds. So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
it really gives a sense of life path, life purpose. Um, and maybe this is where kind of it makes sense when we have critical moments like now with this calling, which facet of ourselves we're going to use and present ourselves with.
Mhm. Hmm. So this is very interesting because if you talk about the actual president of the US, I don't have the permission to analyze a person's name, right? Unless the person asks me. But just today, we mentioned two letters from the name in
Yes.
question. But with the book, you can see the other letter. But I can tell you the energy in general that is being brought from a person. When a person, whether it's president or a director or a baby, a new baby is coming, he or she is bringing a new energy. It's
Actually.
an invitation. It's an invitation. And sometimes what we see first is not really the reality. We have to kind of like gain humility. That's for me very important. I have to be humble to say I don't know everything.
Mm,
And I have, so this is something I learned from my mom, from her own lineage and culture, always asking for clarity. You know, in Arabic, there is, we call basira, I mean the ability to see clearly, but not just see, with wisdom, far. And I feel that's a very interesting prayer, asking for the basira to mm, see beyond the different layers and different, and also what is my role in this
yes.
reality? What did I come to do? Did I come here to save, let's say, um, the whales in the sea, or the trees that are being cut, or this, and I feel, when I lose sight of my mission, I feel lost. I feel afraid. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to die. I don't want to live in this planet. It's just like distraction, full distraction. But at the same time, if it wasn't like this, I wouldn't come.
Of course.
So that's my belief. My belief is helping me to make sense, to have a meaning for my life. Until now, it's working because I'm able to publish books to help people from this belief that I connected with. So, what do you believe in, and how is it helpful for you to do your mission? Sometimes we have to be humble and strong to take things and destroy not the outer world, destroy our own beliefs.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
This is the first resistance and revolution we have to do, is to go within and destroy those things that are
An
blocking us.
example that would resonate for me would be, I mean, we all have that, destroy, the belief that we are not capable, we are not good enough, we will never be
Yeah.
the, never be that, it's, we all have that, I believe, like it's, and so destroying those preconceived opinions, even about ourselves, that we'll never be able to do this, we'll never be able to do that. And so
Yeah.
that, when you talk about the destruction, is, in my view, two things. One is destroying this paradigm that's blocking us,
Mm-hmm.
but also I think at the same time it's creating, when we destroy something, it creates a space, and
Mm-hmm.
that space will invite new things. So to me, that's like
Yeah.
the exciting part. I see that a lot with clients where it's been years, particularly they could be wanting to attract a job or a partner in their life, but their overall life is full, and so there's no space. And very often when they said, it's not normal, I've been waiting for someone for 10 years, 15 years, and I've never been able to meet anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, have you created some space for that person to come? Have you created some space for that job to come?
Yes, totally.
Because if there's no
Totally.
space, and sometimes the space is physically in the home, like the home is full of stuff. And sometimes it's just our actions. Sometimes we're just busy. If we're dealing with an elderly parent, then there's less space just by default, for
Yes.
example.
Yes, totally. And that's one of the things we talked about, having space and time and the limitation of that. Because if we are rejecting that we have limitations in this reality, how it is now, we cannot act in harmony with it. We become imprisoned by it. That's what happens when we are resisting something. Resisting is the first layer or first step, but then we have to sit like friends and talk. So I have to sit as a friend with time as an entity and with space as an entity and talk with them. I'm like, what is happening? What is going on? And I did this weekend. I closed my phones, I closed practically everything, and I sit with myself, and I allowed myself to feel disappointed, angry, you name it, you name all the emotions that I have been repressing, that they took space. And when I did that, I felt so much peaceful at the end of the day, saying like, okay, I really had to put space for that. We have to put space and time so that things emerge. But we as humans, we always want to do something, even on our free
Oh,
time. We want to put brain, do this, do this, do this. And I'm like, no, I want to have more time of nothingness, nothing. You know, we bring this term of nothingness. Uh, nothing. Can we have like today? I have work, okay, but do I have space where I have nothing? I don't want to do
mhm.
anything.
Yes.
Nothing. That's really, really rare. It becomes a very,
Precious.
very precious, exactly, very precious thing. We need to bring forward, not to bring. We need to plan. We have to plan a nothing time.
Yes.
Nothing, like
It's
no screens, no
planning.
info, no nothing.
Yes, that's actually a very, very good advice. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing, your project. I know that we're coming towards the end of the interview. I knew it would go so fast. This is always the case, but I wanted to leave space, maybe for one more project or adventure
Oh,
that you wanted to share, because I know that maybe there was something else as we discussed that maybe you wanted to bring up as we close the interview.
oh, it's fascinating. This life is like waves, you know, wave of a new project. And then, like, when you put it out to the world, you feel like, oh, I gave birth. I'm feeling so empty. I need to stay with it. And then you stay with it, and then you see another wave coming. Ooh. So, after I finished this project of the Arabic letters, I had a new wave coming about the um, warrior woman in North Africa, the ancient Amazons. And I started following the threads, um, divine threads that came to me, collecting the information. And yeah, it's I'm not an historically into, you know, I'm not a historian, I'm not an archaeologist, even if that's what I really wanted to study before going into medicine school, and then changing my paths. But going back to archaeology, going back to history is fascinating. The Greek myths, and as I suggested in my work, how they took our history, how they took our beliefs, how they took our ancient queens. Um, I talk also about patriarchy and things like that. So it's a project that is coming to a conclusion. I'm going to present a conference about to some academicians in 2 weeks, and yeah, we will see how that goes. I'm so impatient to present this to historians and archaeologists
So it
and
is about
God studies researchers. Yeah.
sorry, it is about the Greek myth and with the women warriors from Africa and how they're coming into Greek myth, or can you maybe just explain a little?
Yes.
Yes.
So these ancient Amazons, warrior women, that we know that some recognize in the Greek myths, where I state is that they are not Greek. They are North Africans.
Mm,
And the ancient North Africa was called the Libya, Libyans. Libya was not just the country, it was the territory of North Africa.
right.
And these women, when they rose against patriarchy and the invasion, before that, they had a specific system, a specific culture, a cult, and this cult survives till today. People in North Africa are doing practices not even knowing that they belong to this old, very old kind of religion. And there are even, you know, I don't know if you know the dolmens and these ancient, like, I'm sure you know, is in Stonehenge, you know, these stones, big stones in circle, they're not only in Stonehenge, they are many other places, including North Africa, in Tunisia and Algeria. There are many, and sadly some were destroyed by the colonization, the French colonization. But you know, when you open your mind to, to these things, it's amazing. It's amazing. And my role with this research is just to point and saying, Did you see this? Did you see this? You are talking about
Mm.
Atlantis. You're
Yes.
talking about Atlas. Oh, interesting. And you start putting the dots together. It's fascinating. It's a never-ending project, but I have to.
Yes.
My research is like an invitation for historians and archaeologists to say, listen, this is what I put together. Um, can you move forward with this research because it
Um,
requires people's in geography also and geology. It requires many specialities that maybe one day people will know about this research and they will try to put their hands together to bring our history back forward.
and so is it you're saying like is that on Zoom? How if people want to listen, how does that work?
So it's gonna be recorded with the conference, but what I'm gonna do is because I have many not only North African women, but I'm having women that have in their genealogy North African ancestors, whether through the parent, through the father or the mother, and they are connecting with me. And what I'm gonna do is to initiate them to the ancient queens of
Oh.
the ancient queens of North Africa and their wisdom and their cults. And till today, our clothes in North Africa belong. And if you see the Greek sculptures, the Greek paintings are like say it. I don't know this name in English, but like crafts,
Mhm.
ceramics, and many things. Our clothes are there. I'm like, what are you doing with our clothes, North Africa? Why did you take our clothes, and so on? So there's so much to gain back. But beyond that, the queens, the ancient queens, these ancient Amazon queens, why are they coming now? This is the big question. What are they awakening within us? Is it the power to defend or the power to regain our own land? Physical, body, history. There's something into that. And that's what I want people to discover slowly, slowly through whether the initiation with me, which is over 7 months. I'm gonna talk about it more in the next weeks, or we'll see. I don't know if this we're gonna is gonna be published in a book. For sure, there are gonna be articles about it,
Oh.
but so much things like I had like 200. Practically 50 pages. I had to cut that down because A4, not even a book format, like A4. Um, and I'm like, okay, no, there's so much. I cannot publish. This is very big. It's going to be 300 pages book. Who's going to read this book? But yeah, so
Wonderful.
so much, so much. Yeah.
Um, so, Wasima, so just I will put in the link of this discussion your website. Is that the best place for everyone
Yes.
who want to get the cards they can?
Yes, of course. I will send you the link for the Arabic letters. If you want
Yes.
to book a session with me, you are most welcome. And also for the connections, I prefer by email because I don't, I choose not to put my time everywhere. So
Yeah.
on email, you can reach me and I'm very happy to discuss with you.
Okay. And you're offering readings and initiations and spiritual discussions on where people are.
Yes, mostly at the moment I'm offering initiations at the Temple of Roses with the Golden One and also this upcoming with the Amazons. And I do it one on one because I feel the people that are reaching to me are like diamonds,
Mhm.
and every diamond needs
Special care.
attention and polishing. And of course, there are some meetings along the way, whether through our trips that where we travel with priestesses and other people. So it's kind of like I do my best to treat everyone as a diamond, as an
Oh,
honored essence.
nice.
And I know it's not like what is made according to the actual, people use, like they teach many people at the same time. I did that in the past, but I'm very much guided to the one-on-one and connection
Mhm.
and making space and time honoring that. So I don't know. It's like I'm an old-fashioned. Yeah.
I love that you say we're all diamonds. I love that. which
Yes.
just maybe needs a little bit of polishing.
Yeah, and attention and time. We want time. That's what people need. They need time and also honoring sacredness.
That's
So,
true.
mhm.
Well, thank you so much, Rosima, to come, especially on your birthday. Um, Happy birthday again.
Thank you.
Um, I would definitely love to have you again on the channel and we can put different topics that we can go a little bit deeper. This was just an introduction of certain things that you do, but you definitely, I appreciate myself, all your connection with the different cultures and connection points. I think the talk about Crossroads was very, very fascinating. And also the message that we got today with, creating our calling, our own revolution, making space, bringing something new to ourselves definitely resonated. I'm sure it will resonate with people. So thank you so, so much for that.
Thank you so much for inviting me for your sweet words. And yeah, I'm happy to come again whenever you feel there is something up. I'm here. So
Okay.
good luck with everything. And yeah, hopefully we can meet again soon.
Thank you so very much. Thank you again and happy birthday.
Thank you.